Hi, I'm Connie Whitlock with PHMOmag, and I'm here to give you the lowdown from Pleasant Hill's council meeting on Monday night. Let's get started. So basically, top of the agenda was the tax levy. They had an annual tax levy. Let's get up here. Let's see, council opened a public hearing on Bill 2528, which sets the city's property tax rates for 2025. This would cover general revenue, parks and recreation, public health, transportation, streets, and the debt levy. Basically, what they did is they advertised the top rates that they could go to, and it added up to 1.1017, and they decided to go with 1.0927. So your taxes are going down. There you go. You can read more about that on PHMOmag.com, and I put the chart up there that they had at the meeting, and there's some detailed information for you numbers people. So basically, next up is the Rodeo Seating Request. So the mayor of East Lynn decided to come to the council meeting to borrow some bleachers. He had heard that we had these fancy stancy bleachers, right, out in our Cass County Fairgrounds that we just put in, and said, hey, we're having a rodeo September 12th and 13th. Can we borrow your bleachers? So in my mind, I'm thinking those new bleachers are like cemented in, right? They're cemented in, but we have other bleachers apparently to loan them, and they decided to loan it to him. The one question I had in my mind though was, why does he have to come to the council meeting to borrow bleachers? Could he not make a phone call? Did he not know our mayor's phone number? I don't know. They didn't do a vote or anything like that. So I just was a little bit, what's going on here? But it worked out. It was neat. It was neat to see him there. So that was kind of nice, right? All right, special events applications. So the Haunted Trail, again, they do this every year on the MoPac Trail, downtown Pleasant Hill. The Pleasant Hill Notables, they are a nonprofit supporting group for the choirs, and they put this on for fundraising every year. And this year it's going to be on Saturday, October 25th, and they just needed some roadblocks and, I think they needed an officer and some barricades and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? It's going to happen again this year, downtown Pleasant Hill and MoPac, so check that out. And do you know what? They sold 600 tickets last year. That's quite an event. That's huge, right? For our little town, I think that's great. I think the choirs are very popular in Pleasant Hill, and people even go to their events, even if their kids aren't a part of the choir. They have several competition events that happen, and some concerts. So you might want to go on the school's website to find out their calendar and times. The foam party debate. Now this was interesting. Basically, there's this one nonprofit that's been around for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, I can't remember. It's called Downtown Pleasant Hill Inc. It's a little confusing sometimes because every time I see, it says Downtown Pleasant Hill, I just think it means the city. But if you see Downtown Pleasant Hill and it's the nonprofit, it's the nonprofit, right? So the president of this nonprofit, Don Donovan, showed up at the meeting, and he was very concerned because the last foam party they had in June, and it was in Gray's Lot. It went really well, but this time they're having it at the gazebo, but the gazebo has a hill and a rock wall, and they were thinking danger. So they were thinking, can we just move this to Gray's Lot? But there's a problem. So PHHD has the farmers market on the next morning, and they also have other events. And they were specifically concerned about the Chiefs mascot Casey Wolf tailgate on September 13th, which is a pretty cool event too. So Julie Brown and Bonnie Chambers represented PHHD and shared their concerns. They're like, there's a mud pit there the next morning, or there was last June. And it was an eyesore for about 2 or 3 weeks. If everybody remembers, it rained quite a bit last spring, right up to the time they had that last event. And the next morning, there you go. Well, if you have that times 2, well, then you've got some problems for the farmers market vendors. They have things on that lot every Saturday morning. And I don't know if you know this, the farmers market is actually, they're doing really well. So go check that out every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Especially on September 13th, you'll get to see the Chiefs mascot, KC Wolf, right? Actually, on a little side note, I just did a gig down at Bartle Hall, and one person on the production team with me was the guy for the last 7 years who carried the flag with each touchdown down the field. So cool. Nice to meet you, Marcel. So anyway, that's a little side note. That was kind of fun. But they did decide at the very end to have it on Depot Way. Don Donovan was like, well, we would have just had it on Depot Way, but the merchants or the businesses around there, they don't like that blocked off. Of course, you know, they want their parking. I can see that. But they decided, hey, have your event. So there's going to be an event there on September 5th, and there's going to be 2 foam machines. So that'd be nice to kick off the school year, right? For all the kiddos. I'm telling you, that event last time was really cool. I wanted to jump in, but I kept telling myself, Connie, no. Just take pictures. So anyway, I'm trying to think if there was anything else, and there probably was, but I can't think of it. Oh, there was one big thing. The city administrator, how can I forget this? Shelby Tu resigned. Oh, there were a lot of tears that night. She's been, I think, with us 10, 12 years. I remember Shelby bringing us through COVID and all the new things happening downtown. I know Shelby personally, and she has a love for cities. I know that, and I know that whatever she does in life, it'll be for cities. So we wish you well, Shelby, and I believe Nikki Wilson is going to be the interim for that position until we find somebody, right? Anyway, I think that's it. And if you have any questions, just go to PHMOmag@gmail.com, and I will read them and try to answer your questions when I can. I would love to do some more podcasting on maybe some more specific events and topics or whatever, and we are going to continue our interviews for the spring. If you want to know what to do this week in Pleasant Hill, check out PHMOmag.com for things to do. So until next time, see ya. Bye.